All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the World Arena Podcast, aka the
Yeah.
WAPcast. Today, for us and I are not joined by anybody, but that's okay. Not a whole lot going on in Summoner's War, but how's your
Well,
season going so far? How's your mental doing heading into second round of SWC?
well, some would say SWC is considered something going on in Summoner's War. Wouldn't you think so?
Yeah, for some people,
Yeah, for some people,
for
I
the
guess.
200 that watch and the 10 that play. Yeah,
16, mind you.
yeah, whatever.
Mental. I got over what happened last week Saturday. Finally got over that, and well, just a wonderful, wonderful time to be playing Summoner's War. But you recover. You eventually have a chat with your opponent. Then you're like, "Well, did you have this? Did you have that? What was your accuracy? What was your res?" Then you realize like some things were kind of not a sack, some things were kind of a sack. But at the end, it's not us that decides who wins the game. It's comp to us because it just
Yeah.
whoever rolls that dice doesn't matter. Actually, hold on. Before we get into like comp to us deciding our fates, there is like the thing where people like to roast the players' draft. You got to remember, there's a lot of pressure in some like in those tournaments. Like I spoke about this before when we first started WAP actually. And I was talking about like my experience in the tournaments. Like I thought it was easy breezy, beautiful cover girl until you fucking actually get those matches in, or you're at that moment, right? You're sitting in that moment. You're
Yeah.
in pre-ban. You're like, damn, this is actually the moment I was trying to prepare for.
Yep.
Then everything goes out the window, and then your draft goes out the window sometimes, or it changes a little bit.
Yeah.
So
No
for the
plan survives contact with the enemy, right? It's like
yeah,
it just falls apart as soon as that timer starts ticking down. It's like if someone ran up to you on the street. It's like, "What's your favorite animal?" And you're like, cactus." Like, I don't know.
yeah,
You know what I mean? You're just like, I don't fucking know, dude.
I don't know.
You got 10
So,
seconds. What's your favorite animal? Like, it's just,
so yeah, basically like
yeah,
shrimp.
pressure's
No.
on, especially like if you've been thinking to yourself all week, like, I'm almost positive this is what he's gonna play. If even one of those picks changes, and now you've only got 30 seconds to rewrite your brain from the last week, like,
Even 30 seconds, dude, that goes by.
yeah,
Super,
that's what I'm saying. You've got 30
super
seconds to
quick.
rethink everything you thought of all week. It's tough.
Well, it's even 30 seconds to calm down. So it's like example of my
Yeah,
game two. And I had the most insane game two I've never seen even in ladder mate. Well, I've probably seen something similar on ladder. But like I'm like on full tilt and I have zero time to just
yeah,
chill a little bit. There's no time at all to do it. And then you just end up ending in game three. At least that's my case. I can't
yeah.
speak for everyone. But
No, I've never. Obviously, I never played in SWC, but like
yeah.
at least in Pokemon tournaments, it's always best of three as well. But
Yeah.
like, there's always that like Pokemon select screen that's 2 minutes long in between every game. So it's like you always have time to like decompress a little bit. But SWC, they just start the next draft right up.
Yeah,
Like
that's the
you're
thing.
just in there.
I think like it's something different when you guys are watching and what happens behind the scenes. Like you're still like it's just like me holding my phone and there's not like I'm contact with him. It just like the match it ends. There's like a 5 second like breathing room,
Right.
and then they're already counting down for the pre-ban phase.
Yep.
It's like this. Like there's no like you don't even evaluate how you even won the last match. You're already
Yep.
starting your next match. It's kind of
You got to
I don't
quickly
know.
PayPal the Japanese guy that's playing for you. It's like
I
there's
know.
just there's
Like
just
I
so
don't.
much going on at all
I
times.
think because they have down payments, right? So you
Yep.
you pay for the first two games, but if a game three has to happen, you
Yep.
somehow pay him for game three real quick.
Yep.
It's tough. It's tough. I don't
Yep.
think I went through that personally. I didn't go through that one personally, but yeah,
Yeah. No,
you got that.
it's crazy. And I mean, I think that's why like pretty much this entire SWC, it's been almost every match has been bruiser versus bruiser.
Hmm.
I honestly, your matches with Bida are probably the only turn one versus turn one matches with Sekhmets, Ethnas, Tableaus, Water Monkeys. Like, I don't know. That was probably the two matches that had the most Swift units in it from the
Yeah,
all of
the rest of
SWC to that point. I can't even think of. Zex used some Zabala, I think,
I think so.
and that was about it. But even then, it's to boost despair units, so it's really not a full on. I don't even know if he picked it. Honestly, I can't even remember. But I know he was.
I
He
think the
was he was
fastest unit.
contesting turn 1, but just with speed leads and despair units.
Yeah, there wasn't an actual Swift unit. Mind you, I don't blame him. Like Sekhmet lost me the fucking match.
Yeah, it's so risky.
That's somehow become the riskiest thing to do. 85% chance thing, apparently.
Well, it's a double whammy of risky, because if your opponent decides to speed contest you, now you're also in the coin toss of whose runes are faster. So it's like,
without pure solid knowledge.
it's tough.
Someone I spoke with while I was in Chicago, they told me, this person also contended SWC, they want full-on knowledge on his opponent's runes. Like, there's some shady shit you guys don't know about.
Yeah.
I was going to say, is somebody got a hold of someone's JSON, and then they figured out their Swift, and they said, yeah, I can outspeed this guy. And then in reality, he probably got another Swift rune. He actually ended up getting outsped in SWC, and it cost him the entire... it's that kind of gamble.
That's all it takes. Yeah,
that's it. So that's like, I don't blame anyone for not wanting to run Swift units, but when your box is like, some people's like, they're missing certain units, they have to use something to compensate, or if, like, let's say I anticipate this to be pre-banned, so I need to use something that can either fill that role or pseudo fill the role or some crap. You end up using maybe a Swift unit, aka Sekhmet, and then you crashes your match, and that's it. You're just into yourself.
Yeah, and she's one of the safer ones. That's the crazy part, because a lot of the Swift units only have like one good skill. She's one of the few that actually has like 2 legitimately really good skills. And yet sometimes you click S2 and nothing gets defense broken. Sometimes you click S3 and nothing gets reset. And it's like, well, thought I was playing to the odds to my favor here, but I guess not.
And then or if you send it into an off-will unit and you miss, still, like, damn, I was like really chosen to not win this fucking match. But
so yeah, I mean, all in all though, like the bruiser matches, I don't know, the SWC watching experience to me seems to be getting worse. Like, the games are definitely slower. I mean, our match, most of the matches had a Riley in it, a Raccoony in it, some sort of single target damage, like Miles, who, it's like, he needs 3 hits on all 4 of the opposing units to ever get a kill. But then there's also a healer there, so now Miles actually needs 4 hits on all opposing units to ever get a kill. It's like, God, this is just going to be such a long game. And then...
Well, it depends. Sometimes the Miles will proc turn 1, and then Raccoony will boost it, then he'll proc again. And then
it makes you feel even worse, because it's like, okay, this game was fast, but it also ended on pure bullshit. So, which do I prefer?
It's really, this is like me noticing, like, on my prep process too. So, the last week, or the week before, like the last 2 weeks before this week, prepping for beta and prepping for either Big V or True Whale, the only like chances I had of like was trying to like just bruiser. And I'm like watching their matches. It's bruiserish. My matches are turning bruiserish. Like something kind of I always wanted anyway. I personally don't mind a bruiser meta.
I'm just saying from the watcher's point of view. I don't. From the playing, you pick what's good. You just do. You don't risk your SWC because you want to prove a point with your Swift runes or whatever. Like. I mean, I'm going full bore if I get in there, but that's a different story.
You're Wedjat carried, but that's here and there, but far in and far between, whatever the saying is. But like people watching the bruiser matches, if you really pay attention, if the drafts are pretty equal, it's really dependent on like procs at this point. This is why
that's the tough part, yeah.
And like 12% dude should not be in a tournament. For fuck's sakes. I'm not saying this because it happened in my match, but like in general, you're watching an SWC match, and you're like the most exciting part is someone procking 12%. That's the tipping scale.
Yeah, that's what everyone's like. I mean, no, I don't think
Like,
anyone's
that-
on the.
that
I
one,
don't think
that
anyone's on the edge of their
one-
seats. But yeah, that's like the only thing that you're really waiting for. Like these games are total stalemates up until the point that someone procs after a defense break or something like that. That's like,
or like an insane quad despair happens,
yeah,
or the most insane strip, like more strips. If the attack, but he bypasses all the things he could have stripped on a Shizuka.
yep,
He stripped only the will runes, and then he stuns the whole team. And like, wow, that was a insane play. It wasn't an insane play. That was just
yeah,
insane RNG. Happened to happen in a tournament setting
Yep.
of all places.
yeah,
And then the next best thing is 12%, 12%, 12%.
yep.
It's not in your hands. It's not anyone's hands, right?
Yep. And it reminds me of like the opposite side of it. Like I vividly remember when Pinkroyd was in Legend Tournament during more meta, and he was like running more Oki, and like it's just full on. Like it's like both players are just like clashing into each other at max speed here. And it's like, yeah, there's still gonna be RNG elements, but like someone's gonna win in convincing fashion, and it's gonna be hype. Like it was just exciting to watch. Like just watching Oki's skill just just crush everything, deal 30% to everything. What did it stun? What did it, how much bar did it get? It's just fun to watch. And watching Riley S1 something for 500 damage and heal her ally is like, alright.
What a blast.
Yeah.
But this is the meta that Coptos
Oh yeah, it's not the player's fault.
No, this is like stuff that we've talked about so many times, that they keep making all these counter units instead of like a 1-for-1 counter. This is a one unit that counters a multitude of units. So now all you just see is a bunch of counter units countering each other. And this is the bruiser meta. I count support types that do too much shit. Support types that solo games somehow.
Yeah.
And this is the byproduct of it.
Yep. And it's just they just keep stacking up passive units too, and I mean, I don't know what their plan is. Like, at some point, is there going to be any form of good Oblivion to at the very least be a force ban versus these people? Like, we can't even get a real force ban. Half these passive teams just let Tessa through if you bring him, because his impact is so little.
The best Oblivion you can land is when your Tessa revenges. And then it sticks on there. That's how it sticks on there the longest. Nyx and Tomo aside, the longest way to stick an Oblivion on your opponent is if they proc their revenge on you. With your Tessa to land it.
And now you get full two turns, like legit. Yeah.
Not a fake 2-turn. We're not saying I don't want to talk about how we're gonna buff Oblivion again, but it's just that's the reality of it.
But I think SWC, like, I don't even, outside of SWC, I don't even know, like, it's really all Comtos puts any effort into anymore. So it's like, you would think they would have some interest in making it at least a good viewing experience. Like, I mean, they could start by getting like some casters that actually play the game other than just Stoic, and then maybe working on the like actual gameplay of the matches. It's like,
I think it's become budgetary. Somehow they're still making so much money, yet they don't want to like hire a Guardian player. Like we've lost Make It a Bud, which was great to have. Personally, I like it a lot, but like now they couldn't find another G3 player that's interested in casting.
I mean, they definitely could have, but they don't put any effort. They don't put any effort into it.
This is what I'm saying. Like they want to pay the money. Like I'm sure someone would even do it for like $4,000. Like $4,000. Like let's say they dedicated how many days? Let's say they assume they casted every month. Like even 4,000 US is a very, very low amount for Comtos to offer a Guardian player. I'm assuming they have castings, because that's the other thing.
I mean, I don't know. Personally, I would decline that. Like there's a lot of SWs. Like, dude, half of these fucking tournaments that Stoic is casting, it's at like 2 a.m. like US East Coast time and shit. And it's like, nah. I'm not casting fucking, I'm not burning away like 15 weekends of my year for $4,000.
If it's actually 15 weekends and $4,000,
it's got to be at least, right? Because they cast every region in English. So every region's preliminaries every region's preliminaries losers bracket, and then every region's cup, and then SWC itself. That's a fuckload of tournaments.
Okay, 10,000. 10,000.
Yeah.
10,000.
I mean, they can afford it. It's like it's not even a question,
yeah.
you know.
Definitely,
It's like
you guys don't know fucking.
They gotta
making off Sky Arena, which is fine. Let them make
No.
money, but fuck. Like it's not that they're cheaping on the production either. Like when I was there in person,
the production's nice.
Yeah, in Korea, like there, like I've seen everything they do. It's like pretty high end, except for the staff portion. It seems well, the live casting.
Yeah.
Like I love Evan, I love Seppi, I love Stoic, but like Seppi doesn't play. This is like a shot to Seppi. Like Seppi knows this himself as well.
Yeah, I mean Evan doesn't play RTA. If he does, it's in fighter. I mean even Stoic, like Stoic is a great caster, but he barely plays RTA anymore. So you're just not in there. You're not like commentating on things that you see on a daily basis. Like if a G3 player is in there with thousands of matches played, he's gonna see shit and be like, this is how you beat this. Like, but the guys who are casting right now, they don't know. They're just like, they're not in there.
But maybe it's just a hard role to fill as well. Like you gotta find a guy.
It is, yeah.
G3, okay, let's G2. At least G2.
Yeah.
Like consistent, a good G2. Like I barely made it in. G2, like 964.
Right.
Like, a legitimate G2 rank consistently. He's got to have social skills.
Yeah, they got to be charismatic to some extent. You're gonna be an announcer.
Like Zig couldn't do this job. He fucking sucks.
No, I could do this job if swearing was allowed.
Okay, well that's
yeah.
Actually, Apps could fucking do it too.
Yeah.
Apps is not charismatic. Is he charismatic enough? Get Apps do it. We should have him on here just.
I mean, from what I heard, I didn't see it, but he hosted some tournament and supposedly he did a good job. I didn't particularly watch that one, but I didn't even know what was happening.
Yeah, I did the one with Kurt. I think it was regarding F3 tourney, and Apps did one with Tyler for a C3 tournament. I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Well, it wasn't an Amazon one. It was he did something for Com to Us, some sort of Com to Us tournament.
Yeah, it was a Com to Us thing too.
Yeah.
It's the same thing I did. We did it. He did Conquer. I did Fighter.
That was. I didn't even know that was Com to Us driven.
It was a Com to Us driven thing. Yeah. I think there's options. Just gotta fucking look for it. But that aside, so back to viewer experience. I don't know. Like Zig as a viewer of watching, you were double casting though, right? Well, not double casting, but you're casting over the casters on your stream, and you just found it super stale with the bruisers.
Oh yeah, I mean there was nothing to even like analyze, and like once again, it is always tough because like from the third person view, it's like you're like, why the fuck is he banning that? But like he's got 20 seconds to decide, and it's like this is his whole season on the line. Like, so it always just makes it tough because it's like there's so much pressure. They're gonna make mistakes. You don't want to like roast the guy for making a mistake, but at the same time, you're just sitting there like, well, he just fucking lost. Like, god damn it! Like, and to be honest, I rewatched my commentary of your game versus Bida, and I actually remember. So what I said was, I thought you lost the draft by picking Ethna, but then he banned Ethna inexplicably, and then I said there's no way you lose. And then you lost. But
that was game 2, right?
Yeah. But I just remember, because I was like, I remembered myself being like, no, you lost that draft. But then I remembered, then from rewatching it, I was like, no, but he banned Ethna. It was the only unit that he could kill with his Miles and Rakuni combo. He's like, he banned the only thing he could kill, and then his Miles procced and killed Chung Peng anyway, and then it was like
somehow, and then that's the game my segment missed an awful tableau and reset, and that cost me the
which didn't even change much, because your Chung Peng was still gonna live if the Miles didn't proc, like. Well, because all that Tableau did was give him an extra hit with Miles, which he needed, but then he also needed another extra hit by getting a proc, and he got it. So
he was going to be board wiped at that point if CP, because CP wasn't gonna. Well, whatever. You get what I'm trying to say. There's no point talking about, but that's not what the podcast is about.
But no, but I'm just saying, like, from a viewer's perspective, it's just so hard to like. It's just so hard to watch SWC. I don't know. I mean, after your game ended, I shut my stream off. There was still like 5 rounds left. That was the end of my stream.
Like, fuck this. And
yeah, so, I mean, it's just boring, man. It's just boring. All the other games were bruiser fights. I think, congratulations to Spires for winning the prelims, but his games were fucking boring, man. It was Mi Ying and Kinky and a healer and...
Mi Ying is content, all right?
Yeah, not really.
And in the world of bruisers,
it's cool to see him. Like, he's unorthodox, but he's about as boring as he gets. Yeah. It's literally just S1, 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 S1.
You want to win, right?
No,
so you gotta.
No shade. I don't blame anybody. If picking 4 healers wins you the match in SWC, then you pick 4 healers. You just take your win. It's Comtois' game. It's not your fault that's what's going to win you the game.
You gotta be super safe against the 12% that may happen.
Yeah, so. I mean that's one of Kinky's best features. Like, sometimes with Kinky, their procs benefit you because like they kill something and then they proc, and then Kinky's the only one left. And they have to touch it, and now all of a sudden that costs them the game. Yeah. So it's like
I would love it, Kinky. Goddamn, give me one.
I mean, all the Onimushas do the same. Like, I use Suki more than I use Kinky, just on Triple Revenge, and similar effect.
Maybe I should try that.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess we can transition that over to just talking about the meta right now, because that is a large part of it. And naturally, as always, after a couple of weekends of SWC, it starts to bleed into the ladder. I'm fighting 10 times more Riley than I was about a week ago.
Get it. I don't understand where you're getting all this Riley action from, because it's just I don't really fight it that much myself. When I do, I'm not really struggling against it. But I don't know why Riley ever went down, and now it's back up just because of SWC.
Yeah.
Who are they comboing with? It's just like they're Fire Monkey and Kinky now. Like, what else do you do with it?
I mean, it's usually like 3 of the best LD5s in the game, and then Riley and like a last pick Elemental that's just like the best counter pick for the job. Like, sometimes Leo, sometimes Fire Monkey, like something that they're just trying to get you to pre-ban so that Nephthys, TL, and Veronica get into the match with Riley. Like, that's about the gist of it.
Like, after APAC, somebody was using Blue Riley.
Because his Riley got banned.
Blue Riley. Well, where's the surge of Blue Riley?
Well, no, because that was only because his Riley got pre-banned.
Okay, but
it's not going to happen on ladder.
But also Riley does work really well with Julianne, right?
Yeah, I mean, she's just one of those like unit enhancers. Like, no matter what unit you put her with, she's going to make it better. So if you've got one of the 2, 3, 4, 5 of the best LD5s in the game, like a lot of people do nowadays, just your other unit that you bring in is just some sort of unit enhancer, and she's like the flavor of the month for that, I guess. I mean, previously it was Raccoon, and Raccoon's still super popular too, but
for sure, that's not falling off anytime soon. Do you think Raccoon's actually going to get nerfed though?
I think he is, just because of the community. I don't know if he actually needs it or not, but
I don't think he needs it.
I think they should reduce his heal. Like, if he's going to be a cleanse 2 debuffs every single time he moves, give speed buff, give turns, like, he should just heal a little bit less. It's my same opinion on Wedjat. Like, I don't think Wedjat should heal at all. I think that needs to get removed completely. But it's like, if you're gonna do all these other things, you can't also be pumping heals into shit. It puts units over the top. I mean, that's why Riley's so good. Like, she just, like, Wusa on paper feels like better than Riley in almost every way. But then you play out a match and it's like, well, Riley just heals more over time. She just does. Like, and that's just what you need when you've got a bunch of super cracked units next to her. Just keep them alive.
Keep them healing, keep them attack buffed. But in the case of like Wedjat, It's okay for us to like Wedjat's cracked right now. Everyone's saying they need to tone him down already.
Yeah.
Are they right? Yes. Are the Comptos going to respond appropriately? Who fucking knows? But
Yeah.
we know that we just need, like, at the minimum, or even just maybe at most, the heel is gone.
Yeah.
But is that enough for people to?
I think most people would completely abandon him if he lost his heel.
Like, what? No way.
Every Wedjat that I've fought in the past 2 weeks has been violent. And you are never, ever, ever, ever using a violent Wedjat if he does not have a heel. So if that's what those people, for whatever reason, those people don't believe in Swift Wedjat right now. And if the heel goes away, Vio is literally not an option. So I think a lot of those guys would just drop him completely.
Was there a unit that...
Because he becomes pretty much a full-on aggression unit, like if he loses his heel. Like if he's not going to be healing your team, you have to get your opponent's team under full control and just keep them there and utilize his bar, just like a Swift Verd. Because the reason why Swift Verd's not so popular right now is because as soon as you lose your grip on like controlling people, the team just folds, and it's going to be the exact same thing for Wedjat if he's not healing you out of those situations. So,
I know. Shit.
Although
if there's a unit you could ruin fast enough to push back a Wedjat, and so either Cigar or Shimate to like kind of counter, it's not really a thing.
I mean, there's a ton. I mean, Chiwu has a higher base speed, same lead.
Sure. I mean, like a full zero pushback. The best you get is like a Shimate Cigar. One's too slow and one is only half.
Yeah. So, I mean, like Wedjat's biggest issue right now is getting outsped. And I think the reason people are so frustrated with fighting him is because in the games that they are successfully outspeeding him, if they just miss one or two things, Wedjat's heel just brings the team right back into the match. Yeah. And it's like, so I got what I needed with the outspeed, but because I fucking missed this one pushback on Wedjat or something, now his team is healed, he's got defense buff up, and like, I'm just up shit's creek for the rest of the game. Like, it's all the heel. I've seen, like, some people are so stupid, dude. Like, seriously, I've seen, like, people suggesting that the buffs go to one turn. The defensive buffs go to one turn. Like, what? Where do you even get that from? Like,
that's how I lose to the Wedjat comps. Is like when you brought it up to me, because I realized like I can sustain too, and I can sustain versus the Wedjat comps, but it's then the constant bar, even with the Tian Lang. But most of the time Tian Lang's banned, and I leave the Wedjat. Sometimes I ban the. What I'm getting at is them healing, the Wedjat team healing, even though I'm healing, and it's just that because they take so much more turns.
Yeah,
that 12% is going to hit me. It's the 12% with them being full health or next to full health.
Yeah, he gives them so many chances to RNG you, and
the 12% shouldn't be.
And he's matching your healing while in the process of doing this. So it's like it feels impossible to come back against a Wedjat team. It's like as soon as you lose grip over the match, Wedjat never lets you get it back. It's like because he just restores everything to full and he just keeps the turns churning, and it's like it's a powerless feeling when you lose your grip on the match versus Wedjat.
When you lose your grip on the bird, the pigeon.
But it's if you remove the heel, it's exactly like Swift Verd. I mean, it's literally
that's really what it should be.
Huh?
That's what it should be.
It even puts him in situations where he's worse than Swift Verd. Like in any match where you don't need Wedjat's higher base speed, which it's only higher by 3, but in any match where you didn't need that, like if you own Nephthys or something, Verd is just going to be better if Wedjat doesn't heal. Like, which is fine. I mean, he's still going to be a premium
he'd be still
booster.
Yeah. But what's the worst thing they can do to Wedjat to nerf it?
Well, if they're listening to the idiots that say one turn buffs,
Yeah.
I'll
That
just
that's gonna be
quit.
the worst.
Like, huh?
You can't nerf the bar. That's not it
No,
can be
it's not
technically.
even. It's
Out of all the
already less than Verd. Like
yeah.
people,
So
people
the
just don't
option
understand.
the options are changes S2, which is
Which is just
reduce,
stupid.
which is stupid because then you nerf immensity and the other red thing that nobody touches.
It's not even a good
Uh,
skill.
it's not, yeah.
It's,
Um, so there's that as an option. There's reducing the bar somehow, or only reduce the heal. What's the heal at now? Can you pull up? I don't
it's
remember.
10% per debuff, capped at 30.
That's also wow. That's actually kind of crazy.
It's a lot weaker than Seime's, but he just takes so many more turns that it ends up being
it's a
about the
full
same.
Yeah, what's the other way they can nerf it? Remove speed lead. Well, obviously, that's not happening. I'm just thinking
No,
like the list of potential things that would happen. But really, or not that would happen. That what someone can look at. Speed lead's not happening. Skill 2 change is beyond stupid to even happen.
It's just pointless,
Never
and you wouldn't even notice a difference when you're fighting it.
happened.
You wouldn't even like, because here's the thing: in a real game, if you're up against my Wedjat, just to let you know, you are not moving until my buffs are already gone. Because I'm taking 2 turns before you move. My buffs are always gone by the time my opponent actually gets to move.
Yeah.
It's like, and what would you? Why would you ever put a 1-turn defense buff on a unit that's making your units move? So you put up protection that immediately goes after they take the turns that you give them. Like, what is the point of that? That would be like if Fire Hollyberry, who has like the protection S3, if that skill gave an additional turn. You just use it and it gives you an additional turn and then it goes away. It's like, what the fuck was the point of that?
That's pretty much. So that's off the list. So really, the heal needs to be touched. I would say either entirely remove it. I'd be surprised if they only minimum, because even if it was like 5%, like, that's still a lot of healing.
It would make a huge difference because when you're controlling your opponent, it's very rare that you get like a bunch of debuffs put back on you. Like the only debuffs that I ever really feel myself taking is like, okay, their Josephine just cut, now she's putting out a couple stuns and stuff like that. I'm usually only getting that 10%, but I'm getting it over and over and over again. So if they cut that in half and it was only a 5% heal, which the other big aspect of that too, it's like the only stat that Wedjat benefits from on the right side artifact is S3 recovery. And if you only have a 5% heal that you're basing your S3 recovery off of, you get like nothing.
Yeah, I can. So Wedjat actually benefit. Well, other than defense increasing effect, woohoo, S1 accuracy, and the stat to lost HP is gone now. So unless you had one from 1995, I don't know what else.
Mine's like a mixture of like speed to lost and like recovery, and then some S1 accuracy and
like that's
whatever.
Crit damage taken, I guess so. Yeah, but speed to lost HP. It's a horrible arty. Jesus. Oh my god.
They're just so weird, and like his artifact spread that he wants is so weird and random that it's like he just kind of.
So now with new artifact drops, what do you even look for on this guy?
Well, that's the thing. I can't get a new one because I don't want to lose speed to lost.
No.
Like if I got like 30 minus water, maybe I'd put it on him, just so I'm not getting like if someone bulwark molongs me, maybe I can survive it or something. Like I don't know.
Oh, all right. Well, enough about. Wait, okay, hold on. Actually, still continuing the topic of Wedjat though. Is he #1 unit in the game right now?
Yes, but not all time, like people are saying.
Well, #1 all. He's the best first pick in the game right now.
I mean, you don't even have to first pick him, but yeah, the only reason you even do first pick him is just because you don't know who else has him. You're like, I'm watching you, dude. You have Wedjat? I'm taking him because you just do it out of fear.
Without his Summoner's War notebook, and he's jotted down your name, Wedjat owner.
Yep.
All your other LDs are irrelevant. He only cares if you own a Wedjat.
Yeah, but it feels kind of like rock paper scissory right now because like. I don't know, like if I have a night where 20 of my opponents happen to own like TL in Nephthys, then
Yeah.
I'm dropping that night. If I have a night where only 10 of my opponents own TL and Nephthys, then I'm booming.
Yeah.
It's
You're
like,
climbing
yeah,
closer to the sun.
which I hate. I hate that rock paper scissors bullshit. Pokemon's had metas like that before, where it's like
Yeah.
every time there's a restricted meta in Pokemon where you get to bring one legendary, it's
Yeah.
like you're just playing like matchup roulette. Like, okay, I have Zacian. Do you have Groudon? Because if you have Groudon, then you beat me. But if you have Kyogre, then I beat you. And it's like, this is so stupid. Like,
That's a crap. That's actually what it is. That's a legend. That's literally probably the best. Well, because I think I rank still Nephthys really high. So like,
well,
probably
she's so good versus Wedjat. So like, can't miss AOE 2-turn heal block. Like nothing comes close to that.
No, not even. Well, that's probably the biggest thing that's keeping Wedge. Like I would, you know what would blow my mind if they just reintroduced more heal blocks and then
That is the. I actually like that solution too, though, just because everyone's also bitching about Rakuni and Riley and all these other like. So heal block helps us in that situation too, and Camilla and Fire Monkey, like there's healers everywhere. Like that would be an awesome change.
Old Beth would be fucking running a storm right now.
It's so annoying that they nerfed her.
I think it's what it was before, but Beth was like my most wanted water unit for so long.
What do you think goes through their head?
I don't know.
Like they make the change. No one has ever used a Beth since the change. Do they ever like look at that and go, maybe we should just switch it back? Like,
but then I got Beth after the change, and I'm like super sad because I always wanted more heal blocks in my team. And the most I ever ran throughout my Summers World career was Sequence S2.
Yep.
There's no other unit, and then they changed.
That's the best. That's the best one. That's the best AOE heal block in the whole game.
That's accessible. That would be second. And then there's after that you have. That's it.
No, it's Nikki. She's the next best one, and that's about it.
Nikki, Nephthys, Sekhmet, and then it used to be Beth. Beth would be so good. Like imagine Beth right now. Heal block Beth, defense break.
I just don't get. And like the funny thing is, they don't even have to revert the S3. They could just add heal block on to what it is right now. It would make no fucking difference.
Yeah, actually, okay, if you're legit,
like you don't even have to change it back.
Okay, hold on. Who else should get heal block? Who's a wind unit that could use heal block? AOE.
Wind Cassandra, because she can't glance.
Legit, yeah. Her S3 is so minimal. Like it's a good S3.
It's pretty mid. I mean, it's like a one-hit check on a mediocre debuff and a pushback.
Yeah, but a non-glancing pushback.
It's nice, but she's also impossible to build. She's impossible. Like, you have to go Swift, and you're still going to either have shit crit rate, shit crit damage, or shit accuracy. There's no in-between. One of those three stats is suffering no matter what your runes look like.
Well, if you just don't chase accuracy, you can make the rest look okay.
Yeah,
I actually think.
But then it's scary because it's like, okay, I'm non-glancing, so I can hit Rakunis, but I have no accuracy, so I can never hit Rakunis.
Yeah, there's that, I guess. But then you're also like, if you're taking it into Wedjat specifically, then the Wedjat team will just obliterate your Cassandra because she's too squishy.
She's so squishy, yeah.
But never mind. Okay, Wind Cassandra's off the list.
But yeah, so heal blocks would be awesome. Even like a strip heal block, like add heal block to the Fire Puppeteer strip. Like, why the fuck not? That unit is useless.
It could become useful with the heal block.
Think of how good that would be if you had like if your response into Wedjat was like Hagang Fire Puppeteer while Fire Puppeteer has that, and then you go into like some sort of Shizuka mode so you can kind of combo off the bombs and the heal blocks and all that stuff. Like, there's so much there, but it's like they never make simple changes like that. Like,
they just have to add it. Like, there's no unit
exactly.
They just have to add it to the skill, and that's it.
Like, yeah, I mean the spread of
like you're not gonna do Daphnis on or build.
In half of these units that come up when you look for this, because I was literally going through this exact thought process. It's their S1s. So many of them, it's their S1s. All the Anubises, the Vigors, the Weapon Masters, it's all S1s.
Yeah. With
shitty activation rates. The werewolves put one turn.
Does Bastet have a viable stat in current meta, if you gave a shit while you're fighting a Wedjat, does it have viability?
I think it does.
Just
It's a unit that I've been keeping my eye on as maybe like when I'm fighting Wedjats, if there's like a mode I could go into with Bastet. I haven't fully thought out a team for it yet, but she's interesting. That's a single target. Yep. I went through this whole list like 2 days ago. Like, where the fuck are the heal blocks? I built a Lauren. I was trying Lauren.
Oh, this is AoE. I thought this was AoE for some reason. The S1 again.
It's the S1s, yeah.
God damn it. Yeah,
and like even the succubuses, it's the S2s. I would have been hyped if it was the S3s.
Yeah,
it's just they all have an issue.
It's not like Wedjat made heal block like top of the town.
I mean, we could have used it last season for the Rakunis.
Yeah.
Rakuni Camilla Fire Monkey, like Jesus Christ, give me some heal blocks.
Yeah, like if you ask me, I don't even think we need to nerf Rakuni. It's just a more introduction of people. Like Beth, man. Like Beth is insane. If she had heal block, like she would be used. Even I wanted to use her like 4 or 5 years ago. And I couldn't because I never owned it. I was chasing stones. Like I was really going all in on that. She was really good into Juno too at the time. But nobody was doing it. And it was too late. Like they changed her, I got her, and then I can't use it anymore. The cleanse block is a laughable skill. Where is this unit, man? I'm blind. There she is. It's always on the edges when I can't find it. Look at these base stats. Then she has accuracy awakening, and then removed heal block. Addition destroys, and it does HP destroy. That's sick. Imagine this actually does heal block.
I know. Still. and the worst part is that it did. It used to, and now it's worse.
Now it's worse, and probably even less usage than before.
Yeah, for sure.
I think you're right. Just add it, and then she's an insane unit, actually.
Yeah, cleanse block on top would be really cool, but
you can't remove the heal block. Like imagine she's the ultimate recruiting. Yeah, that's legit. All they need to do.
Yeah,
that's it. She's an additional machine because they're S2 also. Multi-hits, right? 3 times.
She's got great base stats.
Yeah.
Great curvature. Like she's just the perfect unit if she actually still did her skill. But I don't know. I mean, like, it's kind of hard. I don't even like. So what else is going on in the meta outside of Wedjat? Like, I mean, an even higher win rate from the balance patch is Laura. I mean, she's a fucking menace.
I know. There's so many menaces now. Julianne's a menace. Laura's a menace.
Yeah.
I was in Jug stream a few days ago, and he's doing like an LD5 tier, like a scuffed one, right? How many LD5s can qualify for top 5? There's like maybe 10 of them. 10's a bit generous, but it's like 10-ish.
No, that sounds about right.
Like, based on people's opinions, right? Like kind of like how we do our tier list when we have 3 people vote. It's like, so imagine like some people would say this, some people would say that. It's roughly 10. How many qualify for top 10? We're inching over to almost 20 now.
Yeah.
20, like, when you go through the but like you go through the LD5 units now, and you go like, this is not a bad unit. Is it number 1? No. Is it top 5?
There's so many good ones, man. Like, there's some that are like in contention for being the best that like people don't even bring up when they're talking about like the overpowered ones. Like when people are talking about overpowered LDs, like Han and Shan, like the 2 best single target damage dealers in the entire game, they like don't even get brought up. And it's like these units are insane levels of overpowered, and they're not even in the conversation.
But they're legit top 10 units, and people like are not.
I mean, like, Shan especially, like, there has never been a better unit. If you are an AoE player of any sort, there is no better unit in Summoner's War than Shan. Like, his AoE ability is the best. The fact that if he makes it into the match as the solo control unit, he will also pick up kills left and right. Like, you don't understand how valuable that is. Like,
on a 2-turn cooldown?
Yeah, because this is something that I struggle with my Wedjat teams.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I just get into matches and I just don't have enough damage because, like, if they just properly draft versus, like, Chung Pong or properly draft versus Varad, like, I just run out of gas. But Sean never runs out of gas. He just keeps speed buffing. Every time he procs, something loses its life. Like, it's nuts.
It's not about Sean just even running out of gas, but the fact that his S2 takes out a unit, he doesn't need that much gas.
Yep.
He's efficient.
Yep.
His gate kept by his base speed, and that's if they ever increase base speed for chimeras, they actually have to nerf Sean immediately.
Yeah.
They can allow Sean. I think Sean already. It's known. That's the thing. So like, it's okay when a unit like Wedjat's a perfect example right now. Laura, I don't know if Laura's even people's conversations for. We need to nerf Laura.
Yeah.
I don't think that conversation is happening. But Wedjat as an example, it's okay if he's fucking sitting on the throne for these 2 months until next patch. And then when that patch hits, and there's nothing that can address Wedjat by either A, more heal blocks, or B, Wedjat's heal, for example, was what
just getting removed, yeah.
Or like removed or super toned down. Then those next 2 months after that is like, yo, you need to fucking calm down this unit like ASAP. It's okay if anything gets released with an insane, and they have a great 2 months. I don't care. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Generally, it's okay that Water Holly was okay, or like the most annoying shit for 2 months because it only happened for those 2 months. Then it got nerfed, then they got reverted, blah blah blah. Just
I mean, we made it through 6 months of 75% pick rate Oliver, so anything's possible at this point.
Yeah, but we don't want to like go through it again with
other units, no.
Right? This is the point. It's not about it's only been 2 months. I don't care if you've only got to enjoy your Wedjat in this example for 2 months. Even Ziggy himself, the moment this Wedjat buff came out, he started playing with it. He's like, God, this thing needs a nerf now.
But just on the pre-release of the notes, I came on here and declared myself the king.
Yeah, and he wasn't wrong.
The patch wasn't even out yet. I knew I had just taken over the game. It was like that's it. It's over.
And he knew because he was always theory crafting. If Wedjat ever
it was funny to watch other people's video reactions to the patch notes that got posted. Like every one of them that I watched, I think except for Obabo, they literally just glossed over the Wedjat note. I think like Jew Bagels, I think said that he didn't know he didn't already do that. I think like Sean B and Say were like, yeah, that's a good buff or whatever. I'm just like I'm the king.
Oh man! Some people just didn't like. I'm not going to say they're not. Obviously, they're not stupid. It's just like they didn't comprehend it, right? You don't comprehend.
Yeah, it's one of those things that if you didn't already have Wedjat, you're not looking at that realizing exactly what that's going to change. Like,
what does that really mean when you see Wedjat on the board? Now you're like, fuck. Yeah. That's it.
It's because I mean he didn't function as a Summoner's War unit prior to this buff. Like I saw some people saying, like, there were people bitching in the in Twitch chat the first time I streamed with the new Wedjat that he didn't need a buff. And it's like, are you out of your fucking mind? He didn't function. Like, you physically I had several people in my chat like, why do they go right to buffing Wedjat? Like, he didn't even need it. There's so many other LDs that need it. Like, Wedjat spent 3 seasons as the lowest win rate unit across all elements, all natural star rankings, the lowest win rate in all of Summoner's War for 3 seasons because he didn't function. A bar booster that doesn't give himself bar does not function. Watch. Remove it from Escher. He will not work. Remove it from Verd. He will not work. Like,
imagine Escher didn't boost himself. He boosted everyone but himself.
Yeah. Put it on any unit. They become unfunctional. You would never ever use a bar booster ever again if they didn't give it to themselves. And that was Wedjat for 6 years or whatever.
It's like the most hilarious 180 though.
Yeah.
Like literally here. And then,
well, it's because they did all these stupid buffs that made zero fucking difference along the way.
Yeah.
To then give him the most basic one that makes him a functional unit, and it's like, well, hold on, you can't just leave the heal. Like, that never should have been there. He should have got this bar buff from the very start. You never give him a heal, and we just go from there. He's just a functioning unit. He's probably like he's probably somewhere in that top 20-ish range or whatever, and that's perfectly fine by me. I mean, I'm enjoying having the best unit, but I don't give a fuck. I played 9 years without even owning an LD5, so I don't care. But
enjoy it for now.
Yeah.
Oh, enjoy it until something happens to it. But it's like, who's the other unit? I just crossed my mind. And if I can shout. But like other units that like the example where like they kept giving it these useless nerfs or useless buffs, sorry. And then they're at that point where if they do like the thing they should have done in the first place, they're like insanely cracked. What does the perfect example that happen?
They've definitely done it several times before. I don't know what the other examples are, but
like
it
Taor,
happens.
Right? Like Taor, if Taor ever got a awakening change or
it would make all of his previous buffs be like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, like he goes Sean level. And like Sean level, he's already in like some people already call him a top 5 unit. If you have the runes for him, I would say if you own a Sean and you're not re-apping runes to make your Sean the most insane Sean on earth, you're playing the game wrong. But if
he's stupidly easy to rune too. He's a move last unit that's on crit damage with no crit rate requirement. Like, it doesn't get easier. I don't give a fuck about 95 base speed, bro. Tiana's a swift unit with 96 and people use her.
Yeah.
Like
but if they did anything else to him though, he's over the moon. You cannot have him with a 0 crit requirement S2, with a non-touching,
with the highest multiplier in the game.
Yeah,
how did they even come to the decision that of all attacking skills in Summoner's War, that the one with the highest multiplier is gonna now automatically crit? Get the fuck out of here. Of all the skills, they would have been. It would have been more fair for them to give that to like Torrent on Dragon Knights than to give it to fucking Squall. It's like of all the skills, how do you give it to Squall?
Well, for now, it's okay that it's like super strong. Even it's not just strong; it's super strong, and that's okay. We're not calling for a Sean nerf, but if they ever like did the little extra, like Sean, nobody should say buff Chimera's base speed because like Sean is a move last unit. But Sean's also now the unit if you have him.
Even Taor is still nasty.
And Taor, like,
his last buff was huge for him too.
Well, yeah, but now imagine, I can't believe they buffed him again. But
I know.
Imagine just accuracy. He's nuts.
Absolutely. They can't. They better not, man. They better not.
Right now, Taor is gated by that awakening. It's a good gate. Like imagine like Feng Yan. What did Feng Yan awaken into? Crit rate.
Crit rate, yeah. It was crit rate.
Everybody know, on his release, he did not need crit rate. But that's how they controlled his fucking insane kit at that time.
Yeah, no, so at the time of Feng Yan being out, everyone was looking for Feng Yan. Because guild content was the more popular content back then. And he was just the ultimate unit. Like,
and then now, years down the line, they changed it to accuracy. Which was great for him. Now he's used. I use him actually. I love using Feng Yan now. But if they do that with Taor, you're done.
No, they can't. And it's like it's crazy that he's even still making it onto balance patches. We're over here like, can you just give Beth's heal block back? And they're like, no. Taor, another one. Water Monkey, another one. You want to stun on your S3? Another one. Like,
wait, Taor's getting the heal block.
Could you imagine? Right? It's either him or Water Monkey.
No, I might as well give it to Water Monkey too.
The only two options, the only two water units that ever get. Actually, Poseidon hasn't been on. Poseidon used to be on every balance patch ever for like 3 years straight. So Poseidon's basically a different unit than what he started as at the beginning of the game. So I wouldn't be surprised if they give him the heal block.
I have a new theory. There's two, even though we know it's not true, but let's imagine there's two different people that work on balance patches. One controls the Poseidon, one covers Poseidon, one covers Taor.
Yep.
And they just keep like somehow wanting
they hate each other.
And they hate each other.
The Taor guy took the Poseidon guy's girlfriend. It's a whole mess, right? And now they're just trying to one up each other.
And somehow they present it to like final, whoever approves final.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
the guy who approves it is the one who buffs Ethna. So he keeps those guys below him with and only lets them buff water units, and he's in charge of Ethna. So he always stays in the lead.
And the guy in the back is the one who's doing Chow.
Yeah.
Chow and Archaic.
Yeah.
He's the one in the back that like slowly like
the blind guy in the back.
But here's the thing though. He's like the smartest guy
Yeah,
there.
he's meticulous. Yeah.
Ridiculous. He's like, okay, we're not gonna give him the extra 5%, but then next patch we'll give him the 5% because like
Yep.
it turns out it was okay that he could also have a little 5%.
Yep. He's running like thousands of simulations of all different forms of Chow to see like what the optimal change it. Yeah. That
On
guy's
his other
insane.
screen, he has Dark Bayek, Dark Desert Warrior.
Yep.
Where he's like, what if he stripped after stunning? Oh wait, it doesn't work. Okay, next match he'll strip after this or before this. And then after that he'll actually do another skill.
Oh god.
Anyways, we went off the
No, it's so they're just so weird when it comes to balance. They're so weird.
You got Poseidon guy, Taor guy, Chow guy, which is all water, and then Ethna guy.
Yep.
Also the approval guy. That's the story. We're sticking with it, and we can somehow like every time a patch comes out, we can like figure out which one of them did that line of text. You can do between the four. You'll figure it out.
Actually, another unit though that I wanted to ask about. How have you been feeling about Veronica? People have been asking me that, like, because they bring up SW ranking and like her win rate has dropped, but it's like
it's not.
I feel no difference. I look because she's to me she's a draft threat more than anything else because it's like you're just sitting there looking at her like, is she fucking faster than me? If she's faster than me, I'm just fucking dead. Like you're just it's such a mind battle against a draft with Veronica. Like it's so tough.
Me now, I've become such a heavy passive drafter due to SWC leaking into my brain and making me dumber. Is that I take so many passives. I don't care about her S3, and then on the result of that, I just have to take some sort of cleanser. Like I take Veramos every time I see a Veronica, and I just gain so much bar. I don't even take Tion Lang into it. And if I do, it's not even a big deal. I weight off the dots and I just ban a higher damage dealer. Veronica's just become not a totem, but a slow me down for a little bit, and it gives my opponent some time to possibly take a unit out.
Yeah. I just think the meta I think the big reason her win rate is dropping is because people who own her are like adapting to the meta like they should. But like the last couple Veronicas I've fought, it's been with Camilla, Raccoon, and whatever. And it's like I get it, dude. You have Veronica and Camilla Raccoon is really strong right now, but like this ain't it, Chief. Like you're gonna die.
Spaghetti sauce.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
So I think Veronica owners are they're just a little lost right now.
Yeah, I would say they're lost for sure. They're not used to.
They're lost to the tune of a 53% win rate still, but it's okay.
It's along those lines. It's almost. I might even change my opinion on Veronica even being number one. I think Volantis might have edged her out again.
As what, a stripper? Because Wedjat's number one.
No, as a stripper, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Wedjat is for sure number
one. And actually, Laura's number one stripper now. Dude.
Sorry?
Laura's number one stripper now.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, she's my least favorite unit to fight since it's like, dude, it is such a mind game. She's so good on Violent. She's so good on Despair. She's so good on Swift. And you're just sitting there like, which one is it? Which one is it? Like,
I'm sitting here. I take Patter and then I relax, but because it doesn't matter what she does. But
she must be a terror in G1, because the thing is, in G1, you're not fighting the same people over and over again. You have no fucking idea who this guy is, who like just won his last game in C3 and is now in G1, and then first picks Laura against you, and you're like, what is it? Like, I don't. Is it Vio Despair? Like, I've never seen this guy in my like. At least if you're higher up, you fight the same Laura guy over and over and over again, and so like you get like, I know this Nicholas guy who fucking tortures me because he has everything. He has Nephthys, TL, Laura, and Veronica, and he just spams it into me. And but at least I know his Laura has been Violent since the start of it, and like that helps me deal with it. I still just get fucking popped off on by that Laura sometimes, but if you're in G1, you must just be getting fucking tortured by Laura. I don't know.
You just don't know. You don't know if you want to take Well, you can always take Hagang into Laura.
And then she's Vio, and she gets you with the 2-piece, and your whole fucking team
but
is
if you get 2-piece, then you have the rat. I take Patter personally, but if you don't have Patter, you take the rat. If Laura's very manageable, but I love Laura as a unit. But two things about Laura though I want to talk about. First thing, Laura has replaced, in my opinion, Changpeng's position in Vio into proc into skill. There's no. It used to be like Changpeng was number 1. He has that title ever since he got that S2 buff. He's always had that title because the ability to strip proc into an AoE skill. In Changpeng's case, it was shitty strip into very consistent S3. So now it's a very consistent S3 into a very mid. Well, no, 60.
It also slows you too, though. So it's like sometimes you don't even take the stun, but you get slowed, and then the next thing pushes you back, and it's like that was perfectly fine.
Okay, so it does go to 60%, yeah. Which is pretty, but
so good.
I think Laura has. What do you think? Has Laura replaced Changpeng in that, or you just find it totally different?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it's a weird comparison because I just feel like Changpeng's better on just Despair in general now. So it's like
for Laura, you could say that for Laura too, but maybe it just depends on.
But Laura doesn't need it because she has a hard CC built into the S2. But she's great on Despair too. She is. So it's like you can do that too if you want.
Okay, so there's that. Part 2 of this is seeing how Laura, because what changed about Laura? They reduced the turns of defense buff, and what did she do again?
They gave her speed buff.
They just gave her speed buff, but they reduced the defense buff, right?
Yeah.
So she still has her scalings. I don't think they gave her speed scaling, right?
Well,
they did.
In a world of artifacts, everything is speed scaler. So when you give speed buff before your attack, you're a speed scaler.
Yeah. So the other part is seeing is that how good speed buff is, because that's all they did was add speed buff.
It's the best buff in the game.
So think about it, why Juno was so fucking busted, because she has speed buff. When it carries over, when it shouldn't have to carry over by being 2 turns, is what I want to get at. Because I want to argue that like Juno is one of the best things to counter to Laura, sure. But I just want to take this a little more. It was like all they did was give us speed buff, which is huge. Like it's not like speed buff is one of the worst buffs. It's one of the best buffs that you can apply. And not to mention defense buff mitigates defense break. So it's an own way. It's a 1-for-1 immunity. If that makes sense to say. Does that make sense to say? Or
sure.
Not really? Sure. Okay.
It does. It does mitigate defense break.
Right. But it's not like saying attack break mitigates defense break. That's a different weird thing. But what I'm getting at is speed buff is just showing that that's the relevant thing about this whole thing, about Laura's buff, and that's why Juno also is so busted and it should be nerfed. That turn 2 turn to 1 turn.
Yeah, I mean, but Laura just has so much going for her right now because, like, giving a unit that AoE 2 turns slows and AoE 2 turns speed buff is so dangerous. It's like you guys couldn't think of anything else to give Laura but speed buff. Like it had to be speed buff. Like we would be better off if Laura was somehow transformed into like an immunity unit. She'd be worse, and it would still be crazy, but she would be worse because it's just like, man, you're AoE slowing them and giving you speed buff. It is such a massive swing in attack bars.
Bernice is our free-to-play Laura.
What is AoE she do?
Speed, AoE slow.
Holy!
This is it.
Just doesn't AoE strip and AoE stun all at the same time as doing those other 2 things.
You have more. More will do the strip.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That works.
And then you also have. Well, Terra doesn't give AoE.
No, he gives himself the speed buff, but
selfish guy. Yeah.
No.
Technically, but no.
And he doesn't. And he's the opposite, where he doesn't give himself the speed buff.
Useless unit.
But yeah,
that's a big deal too, right?
No, I think it was a huge. I don't know, because like even within Wedjat's reign right now, she's beating him in win rate. Like I don't think she's better, but she's right there.
But there's a disgusting amount of people that own both Wedjat and
I know, and it's so unfair.
it's so weird.
It's
How do you have
it's attack bar hell for your opponent. It speed
that?
buffed Wedjat while AoE slowing your opponent. That is, you are in hell. You will never move. It's like Antares is the only unit that can move versus that combination. Nothing else gets to move. Not even a Juno. It's so crazy.
If you can't take Leo, you can't
Nope.
take your triple revenge bird.
You can't take anything. You can't take anything. It's like
I kind of love seeing it though. Try to be honest. I do love seeing it, but it's insane to fight.
It is cool seeing just like this is the biggest meta shifting patch that I think we've ever seen. Like it feels like you're playing a totally different game. You're not fighting. Okay, well, me specifically, I have Wedjat. So, but like, I'm not fighting any of the same teams that I saw. I don't know.
You have Wedjat
A month ago.
100% in your games, right?
Yes, he's in every match of RTA that I've played so far. Because either they steal him or I take him.
How many wings of RTA since the? Because the patch came before.
I can tell you. SW ranking tells me my matches since the.
There you go. How many wings of Wedjat is this? And what's your win rate because of what? Like either your loss rate, win rate, all the combination, whatever.
So, taking forever to load. So 496 battles.
That's a lot more work.
My win rate with when I get Wedjat is 63%. Yeah.
Like he's in draft, not just drafted. He's in the draft.
Oh, that's if he makes it into the match. How do I?
Okay, no, that's good. Yeah, that's what I'm asking. So yeah, 63 is actually a lot lower than I thought it would be. I thought you were going to tell me 70s or 80s.
No, I mean people. It's I don't know.
Yeah, there's T online. That's the thing, though, right? Now, when you're in top
100, that's the big factor here.
You need when you're in top 100, so like it's an uncommon. It's very all LD5s become common in top 100.
Yeah,
T online is common. Ragdoll's common from C3 up.
Yeah, I've fought over 100 Tian Langs in 500 matches, and my win rate against him is 44%. But wait,
yeah.
Oh my god, no! I must have fought. I'm not kidding you. When I see Tian Lang, I ban him like 80% of the time. He's made it in to 100 matches in my 500.
Oh, see, that makes more sense.
Holy fuck! Wait, I must have fought like 300 Tian Langs.
There you go.
What the hell?
Just give everyone a tail lane. That solves the problem, right? Basically.
That's
There's the guy I was fighting today. He takes both Wedjat and Tian Lane.
That my last two wings.
That red guy, right? I think you fought the same guy.
This guy.
Oh, wait, him too?
Yeah.
Oh my! There's two of them out there.
Wedjat TL Julian. That's
a comp.
It's crazy. The balance patch hero right there.
Julian is another fucking discussion.
Yeah.
I love how these 3 LD5s. Was there another one that I'm remembering? I don't think so.
No, just nerfs. Like Seimei and Veronica.
Yeah, Seimei fucking caught a stray. I don't think she's...
I've noticed no difference while fighting her, though. She's always just been a totem, and that nothing about her being a totem has changed. So
she's a shittier totem now. That's all it is. But there's also about Seimei. Okay, Julian. Let's have this our last topic. Is Julian. Because Julian is also a medicine.
Free.
There you go. Free. He takes Rocky.
Yep.
I take Rocky. Rocky gets banned, and then I lose to Julian. I'm not saying he's broken Nisa there because he does one. His S2 must be just on par with Sean at this point, right?
It's higher.
His S2's high. You just told me Sean had the highest multiplier. Not
well,
Julian.
It's weird though. Julian has a unique skill. Squall is on 3 different units, like all as the exact same skill. Julian awakens into a boost to that skill, and that's why it's the highest multiplier in the game. Like, for context, his multiplier on this skill is twice Masha's S2. Twice. So in the exact, all things being equal, He just does a raw 2x damage from Masha.
That's not with or without defense break.
I'm just saying multiplier
Sorry,
wise.
base multiplier. Okay, base multiplier. He's double.
Yeah.
And then plus you build him on 70 crit, which I don't know if I would ever build him on a 70 crit thing, but
Yeah. His base stats are so fucking good too, man. For a unit that only needs 70 crit and he has, oh my god.
This guy needs double flat defense from artifacts. But no, he doesn't need it. Oh my god.
See, but that's the next development when the Julian players get sick of getting fucking Rocky popped and Grogan popped, and they change their build to have like just real stats and not just like their 18th best Vio set. He's gonna become. You think he's a problem now? Just wait.
Let's wait until he gets properly built.
When people are building this thing with like 18k HP, because like sometimes like when I'm fighting Julian, 9 times out of 10 my win condition is just continuously beating the fucking pulp out of the Julian until he kills the rest of his own team. If the Julian had any form of tankiness off of his 13,000 base HP, my whole win condition just crumbles because now I can't just really fucking bully him.
Yeah. Let's say if you're poverty, you don't have a Grogan, shame on you, and you don't have a Rocky. There is one more
Surtur.
The something to do with Ragnarok. I don't know what he does. It's a Thor movie. I don't know. What gives it to crit? Huge. Acceptable base speed. All right?
Yeah.
I think, hold on, let me actually pull him up. And here.
Higher than Julian's. That's all that matters.
Higher than Julian, that's it. He just needs to pop him off, and that's it. And he does have a cool S2 as well to top it off. But what's cool about Surtur is he goes into Berserker, which gives him additional speed. So even if you built him on like a budget Swift set just to pop the Julian, people will not ban him. If you're going to take him into Julian, I went to the wrong thing. So I actually want to show his total base stats. I can't remember.
I have him up.
Okay, there we go. Let me open on yours.
Bam.
So yeah, if you just have him, here's it. He'll be underestimated. You'll kill their Julian. If he gets left in and you kill, because you're not banning you don't take him in attention for a 1-for-1 ban. That's risky, pretty risky. Yeah. But because Berserker puts him Berserker, right? They call it after
Berserker state.
Yeah, he gains additional speed, right? Max HP decrease, damaging. Attack decreases by 20%. So if you put him on a Swift build, he'll get that second turn pretty quick, and that S2 has a pretty good multiplier.
It fucking slams.
It slams hard. So especially in Berserker where he has.
Wait, it's a heal block.
Yeah. Wait, what?
The S2's a heal block. Surtur's the unit we've all been looking for.
He's better than Rock.
He was right in front of us this whole time.
Oh my god, we gotta pop this. We gotta build it. He's insane with Wedjat too, but that applies to every unit.
I'll build him, dude. Oh man, I make apps so mad when we're doing Discord wings. In between every wing, I just ruin a random unit and pick it in my next fucking top 30 match and win.
That's what Wedjat does.
Dude, half my box is just units that I just built randomly in between matches. Pick them in the next one regardless of situation and just win.
Just win.
Fire, fucking water demons, fire,
Grogan,
Wedjat.
Literally Grogan.
It's so good.
A playable unit because of Wedjat.
But it's my core just allows for me to use whatever I want. Like Wedjat, Vela Hagang. Some more people are starting to pick up on it, but it's more of a turn one style, so the Vile Wedgeouters are probably never going to use this, but the defensive core that these three offer you is just, it's unbreakable. Like, you have to get sacked. It's unbreakable otherwise.
I've practiced against it. You don't want to fucking fight that shit. And if more people, like after watching this episode, all the Wedjat owners whip out their Vela Hagang, it's purgatory. Even if you have Teon Lake, it's hard to fight through.
Yeah. Because it's like, I put up 3 buffs, and the Teon Lang's probably going to strip 2 off of a couple units, but then you just give me Hagang Bar. And Hagang Bar turns into more Wedjat turns, and more Wedjat turns turn into more everything turns.
Yeah.
And like...
It's actually insane.
I stumbled on this team on accident though, because the reason why I chose Hagang was specifically for these teams. I wanted the bar off of them cleansing, because
Yeah.
I thought if I could just like when I fought this guy, I just whenever I have like a stray attack to send out, I just hit his Camilla and try to get it to cleanse itself. Because then I just give my whole team bar and my Wedjat bar, and then
Nice for the bar.
I just do it like it's like I have an offensive ragdoll boosting my other offensive ragdoll, and I'm just like going and going and going.
Look at this guy. He's using a vigor. When's
Yep.
the last time you saw anyone use a vigor in RTA? Wedjat enables it.
I built it before this game, and it's like, and then I just pick it.
Go to your Ethna. The freaking like I just built his. I built this Ethna before the game, and I drafted it next, and it won me. Look at it.
It's so good.
At a top 40, he's top 40 right now. This is what Wedjat does.
This is what Wedjat Hagang Vela does.
Sorry.
If you're in G1 right now, just picking a random Vela or Wedjat with like Raccoony and stuff, you can't splash all this random shit in. You need Vela defense breaking shit, cleansing shit, 3-turn immunity. Like you need you need that trio, that holy trinity, and then you can just pick whatever the fuck you want for the last two picks.
That's the required runes for sure.
Yeah, and then Vela's like my Vela's not even good. It's like the hardest unit I've ever had to try to build. It's like you got to make them fast, somehow get to as much crit rate as you can. You still want to be tanky. Mine is not at all. It's hard.
Accuracy.
Yeah, he's impossible. But
that's another thing. Oh shit! I don't know. Other than Surtur being the next king of this game, with heal block. I don't know if there's anything else to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Prepping for SWC tomorrow, but that's none of your business until the day after.
Yeah, it's none of your business, guys. Close your eyes. Shut your ears.
Yeah. Don't look at my secret LD5 Jaeger.
Your secret Surtur.
Secret Surtur, I mean. Heal block.
Secret Service, Secret Surtur.
Secret Service, Secret Surtur. Heal blocking the nation.
You got to at least flash him in SWC just to get the people going.
Really, yeah. I did actually have Rocky built in case I fought. I can't remember who has a big V or TW.
I'm sure a couple of them have him.
Well, it was like somebody I was prepping for.
Yeah.
And then I had my Rocky built. I've never played my Rocky ever. Every time I take it, she's bad.
Yeah, it is that type of unit. Same with John. Like I've picked John like 50 times. I bet if you looked at my stats, you see like 3 games because it only counts to when he gets into. You'll probably see like 3 games.
John against the Raccoony comps is actually pretty good.
He's the only CC you can trust, and he'll actually kill stuff too over time.
Yeah.
But
do we think Moore is finally dead?
No.
He still has one.
He's dead versus Wedjat. Like you have to bench him when you're up against a Wedjat usually, just because 3 buffs. His strip's so bad already. If you're up against 3 buffs, like fucking forget it.
He is dying.
Yeah.
He's definitely compared to last season, he's definitely toned down.
Yeah. But all right, we can end it there.
Yes.
Thank you guys for watching. And yeah, we'll come back when Firas is the SWC champion.
Pog.
All right. Peace out.
Peace.